What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and today I am incredibly excited to bring you yet another gear review. Although today's a bit of an impromptu video, I did not expect to sit in front of the camera, but these came in the mail, and I figured I get so many questions about what wraps I use to wrap my hands, and I also get questions on the NG2 knuckle guards by Winning. So when I bought the Winning hand wraps that I've been using for a while, I bought these. I figured, you know what, I haven't had a pair of these for a while, so I just decided to go ahead and buy these and do a short review of them, just because a lot of people have been asking me, what do you think about the NG2 knuckle guards? Do you ever have a need for those or anything like that? So I figured I'd kind of sit here and do an unboxing slash review of the VLB hand wraps by Winning and the NG2 knuckle guards by Winning. Now, these have been a staple for a lot of people's basic training for a long time. I don't necessarily see a lot of professional boxers use these, primarily because, you know, they're getting their hands professionally taped and wrapped every single day by their trainer, or there's a specialist that comes in to wrap their hands. You know, you can watch like old things like when Joe Chavez used to come in and wrap Oscar De La Hoya's hands. Floyd Mayweather had a handler that wraps his hands every day, and then most other guys like Manny Robles or Robert Garcia wrap their own fighters' hands. You can actually watch their videos on YouTube on how to wrap their hands, and they have really unique methods of doing that. Now, I know Robert Garcia will often use gel pads. They're by Skulltech, but a lot of people in generic training around the world or some other fighters use the Winning NG2 knuckle guards or another form of this by other brands. Now, the reason why Winning is so famous with these is because you know them, you've seen them around. They are by far one of the biggest boxing brands in the entire world. Every major athlete that you can see uses their boxing gloves, their headgears, their cups, everything by Winning, primarily because they do such a good job. And Winning is really good because everything they make appeals to a professional athlete. But I can tell you this, that any athlete on the planet, whether you're just starting out or not, anything Winning makes would probably work just fine for you. So I've been using these hand wraps for a while, the VLB hand wraps, and the reason why is because I find that these are the best traditional hand wraps that I've found that replicate gauze to the best of the capability, because they're not too thick, they're not too thin either. They're made out of a material called rayon, which is, I guess, a big material used in Japan. I've personally never heard of it until I found these wraps. But, you know, for me, I'll go through a bunch of different hand wraps. I was never so picky, so when people ask me, you know, what hand wraps do you like? I preferably like hand wraps that aren't too thick, because whenever I wrap around my hand, I hate having too much material in my palm because my palms are fat. I don't necessarily have long fingers or the widest hands, but my palm, like the meat of my palms, is just like my coach always says when he wraps my hands for fights, you have catcher's mitts. So it's annoying. So I found these, and these by far are my favorite regular wraps to use. And then once again, usually they pair up with the NG2 knuckle guard. So let's go into the NG2. We'll open up this package here, and we'll take out, it just basically has instructions in Japanese for you, and it shows like a picture of the knuckle guards right there. Anyone can read or speak Japanese. You want to tell me what any of this says? Because I have no idea. I see 10 centimeters by 10 millimeters. So I don't understand centimeters and millimeters. I'm not good with math or metrics. But when you take these out, so I haven't had a pair of these in about, I'd say about a year, I think is when I got rid of my other ones. But to give you an idea how durable they are very durable for me. I had them from senior year of high school, which was 7 years ago, till about a year and a half ago. And then actually what ruined it was my cat got a hold of them and ruined these. But all it is, it's like a cotton type material. It's like a thin, stretchy cotton material that will go over your knuckles like this. And it has gel on the inside of it. Now, I was curious when my cat got a hold of it and ruined it, because I noticed like there's like a thin blue layer of gel, it looks like, on the inside, kind of like the blue outer part of this. And underneath it was a piece of EVA foam type material, or a very soft foam. And it looked like the same description that Winning has of the cradling foam that they have around your knuckles, like that sponge foam. So you can actually feel, let me see, yep, okay, so if you like go in the center of your knuckle guard, if you ever get these, the top layer is that gel, and underneath you can feel the foam. Actually, it's a bit of a different consistency, but it's still nice and soft. It's definitely more of like a very soft closed cell foam, actually, not open cell, because it's going to stay in the shape for as long as you have it. So basically what you do is you can put it on like this right off the bat, because this isn't uncomfortable on the knuckles at all, and you just wrap your hands over it, and it's supposed to replicate, you know, kind of like a gauze type feel and stuff like that when you put it on. But gel is really good for dispersing impact when it hits. So when it hits, it, instead of going directly to your knuckles, it spreads out throughout the pad, eats most of the shock before it comes here. The nice part about gel too is that if you're a puncher, you know, it does have a bit of a bouncy reactive feel too, so it feels pretty good, although it deadens the impact a lot, but it feels good, recoils off the bag or off your sparring partner, you know, if you have that puncher's feel. So I never really had an issue with these at all in that department. I thought, man, well, the gel's really going to disperse the impact so much where I'm not really going to like punching stuff too much. It doesn't feel that way at all. It just feels comfortable, and it adds that little bit more protection to your hand, and that's always good. So you definitely want that when it comes to these. So they're really good for protecting your knuckles. They go for about 25 bucks, which really isn't that bad. Really what you're paying for is you can just get, I forget what type of gel it's called, but you can get like gel pads that are used for like shoes and stuff actually off Amazon for like $5, and it's the same exact thing. But I trust Winning, just because, you know, it's Winning. At the end of the day, that's the easiest way I can word that, is that they are by far one of the most famous brands known for protecting your hands. So Winning definitely makes these really well. They're basic in design. There are a lot of other brands out there that make things just like that, that'll slip over your fingers and stuff like that. I kind of like this. The only thing I don't like about it is, like I said, I don't like a whole lot of extra material on my palm. This is thin enough to where you can just scrunch it up and make a bar out of it, which is good, and it's not big at all. So that's completely okay. So overall, those are nice. We'll show you how to wrap your hands with that, and then we'll open these up here, and then we got the VLB hand wraps. And like I said, feeling a brand new pair, because I got these because I wanted another pair with me, because I was sick of having to, you know, swap between a good pair of wraps when these were getting washed or something to, you know, wraps that I didn't like as much. But as you can see here, it has on the thumb loop, it's a little Winning tag right there. If it'll focus for me, maybe not. Okay, but here, and it says Winning with a logo there, and then it says Rayon Japan on the other side. So that's what this material is. And as you can see, guys, unlike most hand wraps, you can actually see like the weave pattern, and it stretches really well. You can see the weave pattern kind of like gauze, and in fact they're white, just like your regular medical gauze that you would use when you wrap a fighter's hands. It has very good grip that sticks to your hand really well, and it's very good to wrap your hands around. It's nice and soft, so if you don't like a rougher hand wrap, like those really tough cotton wraps on your hand, this is definitely good for you. The rayon is, I guess, not as durable. It will fray a lot easier, so if you wash them in a hand wrap bag, make sure that you don't have a whole bunch in the hand wrap bag other than these two wraps, because God forbid the other wraps tangle, or the Velcro sticks to it on the inside of it. And if the Velcro sticks to the inside of it, I have seen frays in this. It is a lot more fragile because they're trying to get that gauze feel. You can reuse gauze and wash it like the Leroy gauze. The only thing is that they are a lot more fragile compared to your regular cotton gauze that are meant to be used at that level. So the ones that you get for $5 on Amazon or at Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah, they're not going to last. I mean, those will last way longer than these will. So you got to treat these a little bit better. And for $20 for a pair of hand wraps, that's kind of outlandish to some people. But these, if you are like at that level where you know what you want, these are definitely good. They're not too thick at all, not too wide. I'd say about 2 inches wide, which is good. And then the other thing about it is that they have a decent stretch to it, like your regular Mexican gauze, which are preferably the ones I use. I use Combat Corner gauze because I like the open weave, and I like that they're a lot softer like a Mexican gauze. So how I wrap my hands with these is really, really simple. It's the same way I'll do it with my left hand. So it already has a thumb loop ready to go for you here. You go around your wrist twice. For me, this is what I do. And then I go around to the top of my knuckle, make my X. I make a regular X there, and what that does is it just kind of binds my bones in place. Then I go around and make one layer of webbing right above my hand like this. But notice how my hand's open too. And I have that here, that way when I wrap through my fingers, it binds really easy, so I have it slightly over my knuckles. Pinch that, and then if you want to use the knuckle guard, this is all I do. I just come here, wrap that over, just like that. Okay, so now that's nice and tight under there. Make sure you keep your hand open, and you just go over the top, middle, and bottom of the knuckle guard, completely securing it in place. From here, I go to my thumb, around to my wrist, and now I go through, you know, depending on what finger you like, it's completely subjective to most people. I was taught you go through the middle first, close your hand out the side, then you go to the pinky, out the side, then you go through the middle and pointer like that. And that's how I wrap through my hands. For me, that's just the most comfortable spot. And you can see here that we still have a pretty good pad, and it looks like a fight wrap almost. So then what I do is I make my half X, and now I lock once again over the gauze like this, under the gauze, under the knuckles rather. And now I make my final X. If you want to finish out around your thumb one more time, you can. I personally think once around the thumb for me is enough, so I will not do that, but that's the idea, just showing you. And then we finish out with the Velcro. I like finishing out the Velcro either at the base or the top part of my wrist. I'm gonna do a little bit below the base today. And so there you go. And that's how I use these hand wraps with the NG2 knuckle guards. The other thing that I'll say about these is they're nice and thin, they're hand wraps. So if you don't like this excess material here, all you gotta do, tuck that down below, and that works just fine. And then all you do is you just take this, like that. Now you got a nice little bar to work there with. I think that's a perfect width for me. There's still more than enough room for any glove that I use because of how thin the wraps are and how thin this material is here. If you do not like this and you don't want that extra material, you can just cut this little loop off, and then you have even less material on your palm, which is completely fine, and then you just use it like a gauze pad. Now, some people might be wondering, you know, how the wrap looks without the gauze pad, so I'll do the, or without the gel pad, so I'll do that. And you just wrap it like you would any other hand wrap. I'm going to use the knuckle pad technique that I've showed on my video. And all that is you just pinch this in between your pointer and thumb, spread your hands out wide like this. I like going a little bit above my knuckles, that way it's nice and wide and it'll catch easier. You go around once, twice, 3 times, 4 times should be more than enough for other people. I'm gonna go around 5 just because I like a little bit more sometimes. And make sure you keep this nice and wide, okay? And then you take this off right here. Now you take the same thing, pinch it between here and your knuckles so it lines up like that. Pull it down, secure the top, open your hand, secure the bottom, okay? And now we just go and do our regular wrap again. I'm gonna make my X here. I'm gonna go through, make this whole thing that I showed you earlier. This isn't a video on wrapping your hands, but I'm just kind of showing you how it works for me. I love wrapping hands. Whenever I go to events, people are like, can you wrap my hands? And absolutely, I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things. If I ever get done fighting, I hope I can actually like do something with wrapping hands. I gotta make a video on that. I think I'm decent at it. But then once again here, so I got a decent, it's actually a lot more padded than a lot of other knuckle guards out there, or knuckle pads, than hand wraps out there. It's actually severely padded compared to some other ones. It looks like an actual fight wrap to a certain extent because of that white gauze feel. You just tuck that in again, like that. Now you're there, tuck that down. Boom, and now there's virtually barely any material here when I tuck this in. If you want to use tape, you can. It might fray the wrap a little bit, not too much, but all I do when I use the tape is I'll make like a ribbon out of it, and I'll basically tie it down here so I have even more of a bar, because there's no reason to go through all of your fingers because the wrap did that for you. But overall, you know, I really love the VLB hand wraps by Winning. I think they're the best hand wraps out there, for my money anyway. And the knuckle guards are probably the best knuckle guards out there as well. So total, if you want to get these as a combo, it's $50, which I mean, I guess is a little steep for some people getting into it, but I think if you're at a stage where you need to protect your hands and you want to wrap your hands proper every day, and you want that fight wrap feel, I think the VLB hand wraps with the knuckle guards is a really great combination. If not, just make your own gauze pads. All I do for that, just go to Home Depot, yeah, go to Walgreens and just get rolled gauze, like the really spongy ones, and just wrap around your hands 6 times, fold it, and then there you go. We'll wrap it with duct tape or athletic tape preferably, but some people use duct tape, and then just use that. But I think this is good. It'll last a lot longer than that, and in the long run, it'll save you more money too, because $25 for these. The only thing I'll say is about these, they are easy to get a hold of. They're not that expensive. You can go on Amazon. That's where I got both of these. The only thing is they run out of stock quick because they make them and they're gone because everyone uses them. Overall, I think they're phenomenal, and I think you guys will like them too. So with that said, guys, thanks for watching the impromptu video. I'll see you on the next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. It goes a long way to help the channel. If you have any questions, comment below, and then message me on the Instagram page. I'm trying out TikTok. It's kind of, barren, but I'm trying it. So follow me on those, and I post just about daily. So if you guys have any questions or you want to message me about these things, go for it. I'm always available. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like I said, I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for choosing your source for combat sports, The Combat Corporation. You have a great day.